Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Fireball with Ashleigh Mayfield. If you appreciate videos just like this, make sure you click subscribe and share it with a friend. Now, buckle up and brace for impact. Welcome back, and I am excited today to talk all things yellow personality. Now, if you have followed me for any length of time, you are going to hear about the color personalities. If you have not listened to that episode or watched it on YouTube, I have tons of content on YouTube, but it is Fireball Podcast with Ashleigh Mayfield. It is episode 27. The color personalities. Make sure that you pause this right now, go back and watch that. It's going to give you an overview of all the personalities. And so far in my podcast, I've done all things red personality, all things blue personality, and we're getting back on the train to talk all things yellow personality. Maybe you are that yellow personality, or maybe you're in a position where you know someone that is a yellow personality. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's someone in your business or organization. We're going to break it down. What does it mean to be a yellow personality? What are all their incredible strengths? If there is one color that does not see their worth sometimes, it is the yellow personality. And my friends, you are so amazing. You have this almost unicornness about you where every color does. Every color is unique. Every personality is special. But you have something that is really, really profound that no other color has, and we're going to dive in. So with that being said, some of the traits and characteristics and qualities of yellows I actually really like. I have found in the last year with some of the things that I'm walking through, I actually really enjoy being around yellow personalities. They might be a little bit more humble, more meek, a little bit more laid back. They're definitely processors and they love putting other people first. But some of the good characteristics are they're really good listeners. You, my sister, are a really good listener. You know how to lean in. You know how to give someone the ability to share what's on their heart and give them that time while you're asking questions. I also think that yellows are really responsible. These are people that are reliable, dependable, and responsible. Their word is their bond. If they say they're going to do something, then they're going to do it. Now, of course, if I'm going over all of these characteristics, if you're like, I'm a yellow and that's not me, there are high functioning characteristics of a yellow. There are low functioning characteristics of a yellow, okay? I am a red blue. We've gone over this. Just because I'm a red doesn't mean I'm all things red. It doesn't mean I'm the best at all things, and some things doesn't mean that that's all that I am. I think sometimes we live and die on the color personality, and we shouldn't do that. It's a great way for you to discover your voice, not a crutch for you to use and make excuses for yourself, right? But high functioning yellows, definitely reliable, dependable. Your word is your bond. I know I can give you a task because you love instructions and you're going to get it done. And that's something that means so much to me because as a leader, I have control issues. It could be easy for me to lean into those control issues or start micromanaging people. And I have to know that I'm going to trust someone. So for me to say, I give this to you, I trust that it's going to get done. And the fact that you can deliver, man, that makes my red heart so stinking happy. Yellows love instruction. I love knowing this because when you identify who you are and who other people are, you can play to their strengths. So if I'm dealing with someone like me who's a red, we typically don't like instructions. We like to know what the goal is. We like to know what the mission is and maybe why we're doing it. And then just let us run. Don't give me step-by-step instructions. Don't hold my hand. In fact, it's actually insulting to me. I feel like you're belittling me doing that. And you're basically telling me that I'm stupid. But a yellow, you guys are so different. In fact, I find that yellows love clear, precise instructions. Give them step by step of exactly what is expected because they don't want to disappoint. They don't want to let down. And at the end of the day, they don't want to get in trouble. And so when you have someone that's like that, I've had to learn that it's not about me and I can't expect them to just want to be insulted like I would. They love instructions. And so as someone who loves to give instructions and knowing a yellow loves to receive instructions, that's something that I've gotten to implement in my leadership. And maybe you can take that. Maybe you have a child that's a yellow personality. Give them clear step by step guidelines. That way they can comprehend, they can understand, they don't second guess. And I promise you, they're going to take that task or that chore and they're going to run with it. I also think that one of the unicorn pieces of yellows, and this is probably my favorite characteristic, I would say that this is something that I have leaned in on. By no means am I perfect on it, but when I do put on the yellow hat, like 10%, 7% of my world is yellow. Whenever I do, I can lean into the strength. And yellows, you're shapeshifters. You are shapeshifters. No other color has this capability. You can walk into a room and you can embody what that room needs from you. And it's so powerful because a yellow is actually all the colors. Typically when I find people who take the color personality, which is in the description of episode 27, if you need it, it's also on my YouTube. I have so much training I've not only done for friends, for my team, for my company that I work for, and just in my entrepreneurial world. And yellows, it's so incredible because you know how to be all the colors. So if you think about someone that's like a teacher, a yellow knows how to walk in the classroom and make the students laugh. They can put that blue hat on as a teacher and entertain or make the lesson not be boring. A yellow teacher also knows how to step in and, have their red hat where they're a little bit more authoritative. They can drive the classroom and they can help it reach a goal. I often find yellows know how to put the green hat on as well. They know how to step in and do lesson plans and be organized and have those timelines and that structure that their classroom so desperately needs. And so a yellow can step on the premise, they can step into an environment and start shifting depending on what the room needs for them. What I find sometimes is that yellows don't know how to do that for themselves. So it's almost like a light switch. They know how to find the light switch when they're in an environment, but when they're at home alone or it's about themselves, sometimes they don't know how to find that light switch as much. And so I want to break down some different color combos and what it means for you if you are these color combos, or how to lead someone and how I personally coach and lead people. Like I said, I love yellows. My story with this, because again, I'm not a yellow, my story goes back to almost 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago, maybe 3.5 years ago. And I discovered the color personality and I found out that I was a red blue. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was able to give a voice to who I was. But what I realized is I was hurting my entrepreneurial journey, because I didn't know how to be a yellow personality. And I realized that yellows are really about relationships. Now, that doesn't mean that any other color can't be about relationships, but you're going to find that yellows drive community. They're those silent warriors. They love for everybody to have a good time. They're the hostesses. They're the service. They're driven by an overall goal or mission, knowing that they played a role in it. They can be behind the scenes and they are so fulfilled helping you reach your goal, right? Where are my yellows at? They're so fulfilled knowing that the mission was reached and that they played a role in it. And so one thing that I've had to learn and identify is that yellows need to be needed. You have to have a space for them. You have to include them in your vision and in your mission. And you have to speak life over them. And you don't have to, you get to speak life over them. You get to say, you are such an important part of this organization and this journey, and I can't do this without you. Man, you are going to turn that yellow personality on, and maybe that's your child. Maybe it's another family member, friend. Maybe it's someone at your job or in your business. But I think overall, regardless of personality, letting someone know that they're a part of something, isn't that one of like the 6 fundamental needs of a human is significance? We need to know that we're seen, that we're heard, and that we offer value. But that is especially true with a yellow, because I do find that sometimes yellows question their worth. They're so busy taking care of everybody else and making sure everybody else is fed and nurtured and has whatever they need. They'll sacrifice their entire being to help other people cross their finish line. But sometimes they struggle showing up in that same capacity for themselves. And they've put themselves on the back burner so much that sometimes they struggle seeing their worth. So yellows are absolutely incredible. You've got to let them know that they matter and that they contribute. So let's talk about color combos, because I think that it's important. I think that it's important, just like I said in episode 27, where I go into all the color personalities, you need to know what those top 2 color combos are. So a yellow red is going to move different than a yellow blue and a yellow green. And so we've got to break that down. So let's dive into what it means to be a yellow red. Now, there's going to be a lot of similarities if you listen to my all things red personality. The red, yellow, red combo, very similar. These are people that have very strong work ethic. Okay. These are people that just show up. It's almost innate, whether they're providing for other people or providing for themselves, being that yellow-red combo. Man, they only show up and show out. These are men and women that are going to show up to their jobs with their arms severed off, dying, and they're still going to show up. These are people that are no excuse, no bullcrap. They're constantly on the go. They're constantly moving. They're constantly working because they find so much pride in their work ethic. And that's not a bad thing, right? I wish more people were like that. I wish I was like that. I have a strong work ethic because I'm a red, but I'm also a blue. And so a yellow-red combo, there's just no match for them. They are the strongest working color combo out of all four of them, out of all of them. These are no excuse, just to execute. And they're really always busy. They always have something on their plate, whether they're taking on the pressure and the weight for other people, or they're trying to help cross their own finish line. It's almost like every minute is full on their schedule because it's just, they have to be moving and producing, whether it's for themselves or for someone else. And so, one thing that I try to do for this color combo is help them understand that there is a little bit of stubbornness, and stubbornness is a huge asset. Sometimes we talk about stubbornness with this negative connotation, like you're not allowed to be stubborn. Contrary, my friend, you're allowed to be stubborn. You just need to make sure it's filtered in the right direction. I'm going to be so stubborn about the goal that I'm flexible on the method. Where I find that a lot of people want to change their life and they're so stubborn about the method. Well, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I refuse to do this, and I'm going to create my own wheel. And they get so stubborn on the method that they screw themselves when it comes to the goal. Okay. And so this is a color combo that is extremely stubborn. They're probably not going to ask a lot of questions. They're just going to keep their head down, get it done. And you're going to have to build that trust with them. You're going to have to build that you have their best interest at heart, whether, again, it's a child, it's a friend, it's at your job, maybe you're volunteering and you know someone like this. This is someone that if they don't like the way, they're going to go create the way. And that's very admirable, right? We all know that, unless the system actually works. Now they can just be obstinate for no reason. Okay. And so it's really important for me that I make sure that I develop a level of trust with this person, that they know they can trust me, and that I'm not here to hurt them, that I'm here to help them accelerate faster. These are people that like to produce. These are people that like to win. And I want to help them know that I'm here to help them do that a lot faster. And these are people that probably have a hard time, that don't tolerate a lot. And so typically, it's important, no matter who this person is, again, a friend, family member, child, someone you work with, someone you volunteer with, they need to understand social awareness. Just because they have a self-awareness of how strong their work ethic is, they need that social awareness that they are a rare breed, okay? That everybody comes in gun blazing, ready to work. In fact, the majority of people do tend to make excuses. The majority, and I don't think it's because they come from a place of like, they want to make excuses or they have this desire. A lot of people don't have the brain cell to understand, like, you can still show up to your job if your dog is sick. Like, you really can make money while you're making memories with your kids. And there's just a lot of people that don't, maybe their circumstances, their history, how they were raised, they have this preconceived notion of how life is. And a yellow-red combo is just suck it up, make it happen. And there's a stamina that you show up to the table with that a lot of other color combos don't have. They're willing to sit it out. They're willing to bench themselves. And so help in this color combo understand and realize that not everyone's probably going to be like you, right? Yes, like attract like, but at the same time, opposites attract. And there's that phrase as well for a reason. And so just be patient with people. Give people grace if they're not the same work ethic as you. They might be someone that makes excuses, or they might be someone, instead of saying makes excuses, they might have different priorities than you. And you've got to understand that that is okay. I also think that, you just have to understand that everybody's driven by different things. You might be driven by a finish line or by producing or by a work ethic. And some people might be driven by comfort. Some people might be driven by, the extra benefits that you get or recognition or whatever. And so just understanding that everyone's like you is a huge, huge thing that you can start shifting your mind and helping show up to other people as they are in their strengths. I also think that, a yellow-red combo, I'm going to coach these people to give themselves grace. And whoa, that is very difficult for this combo, okay? Because they are such strong workers, a lot of times they find that they can just like bulldoze over and plow their way through the finish line. And then they're sacrificing all these things, and then they're lacking faith. They're not willing to move in ways that, like increase their faith to a level. And so I want to make sure that I give these people grace, that you can't just bulldoze your way to the finish line sometimes. And maybe you can do that, but you might not have a lot of people following you. And it's so important that these people understand like their whole demeanor and identity is not in them crossing a finish line, and that they get grace and they get to start at start, and they get to lay one brick at a time, and they get to take one step at a time, and there's a space for that, and it's totally okay. All right. So that's my best tips for you guys. Let's talk about the yellow blue combo. I love this combo. This is probably one of my favorite color combos out there. In a very, I say that as Ashleigh Mayfield, not as like a leader coming to you as like an entrepreneur. I say that on my own personal level. And I do find that everybody has a favorite color combo that they like to be around. I love yellow blues. I think they're so fun. They're so light. They're so others focused, and they are a good time. If you're ever around a yellow blue, once you open them up, they're a really good listener, but they like to make you laugh. They're lots of fun. They're very caring people. They have big hearts, and they're constantly serving other people. They're very supportive. In fact, I have a few yellow blue combos that I love being around, and they're so supportive of me, and they're always breathing life into me, and it's not competition, and they're reminding me of my purpose and of my goals, and they see something in me when I don't see it in myself. And I love that they give freely, and they just so effortlessly put other people first before them. And sometimes that comes very hard for me. Okay. I'm a very self-focused person. I also love that yellow blues, I find that they ask a lot of questions. They like to come from a place of understanding, instead of just wanting to be understood. So they're a lot more open. The way that I would coach these people is that, the yellow blue combo, when you look at it, they're two colors that are on the bottom of the scale, which means they're very others focused. Okay. If you have like a red and a green, you're going to have a yellow and a blue, and they're very others focused. So if you split it in the middle, red and green is very self-focused. Yellow blue is very others focused, which is phenomenal, right? They're going to come from a place of compassion. They're going to come from a place of understanding, and they're going to be givers. The problem is they don't know how to do that for themselves. And so a yellow blue combo, I want to make sure that they understand along the way, right? We're crossing our finish line, and we're learning as we go. It's not just preparation, but it's also experience. And so while they're developing that experience, I'm preparing them along the way in motion to put themselves first. I want to make sure that they have a vision for what they want. Yes, they want to be able to help their spouse. Yes, they want to be able to help their kids. Yes, they want to make their boss shine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're driven and you're wired how God has designed you, and it's a beautiful thing, and you are worthy. But oftentimes they don't know how to identify who they are because they're so busy putting other people first and making other people feel good. Okay. Talking about that yellow blue combo. And so it's important for me that along their journey, I'm preparing them to, discover who they are and decide. Sometimes it's not discovering who we are. It's just deciding who we are, right? Making that decision that I choose to be this. And so helping them decide who they are and helping them create a plan around that. That way they're not constantly just giving and losing themselves in the moment, like Eminem says. So creating that plan is so profound for them, because oftentimes, because they are people that love instructions, they show up and they don't know how to create that plan for themselves. So I want to teach them how to do that and eventually pass that baton to them and empower them in their leadership, that you are worthy. You get to sit in the driver's seat and you can make a plan for whatever it is that you want. These are also people that I'm going to help them to show up for other people. When I have a yellow blue personality that I'm leading or that doesn't know how to take the next step in their leadership, I'm going to ask them, well, what are the goals of the people underneath you? And a lot of times when we don't know what we're fighting for, or we have a hard time discovering our why, if we are a yellow personality, you can go down and say, well, like, who am I helping to reach their finish line? And so, I have a lot of yellow blue personalities just in my own space as an entrepreneur, and they get excited about helping their people pay off debt, helping their people come home to their babies, helping their people find success. And that brings them joy and fulfillment. And so if you're struggling, if you're this yellow blue and you're like, I don't know what I want, stop focusing on yourself and just focus on other people for a little bit. And I promise you're going to get exactly what it is that you want, but also you'll start to discover yourself along the way. And I love that phrase, if you help enough people get exactly what it is that they want, you'll naturally get what it is that you want. And that, even though I'm not a yellow, is a trait I take from yellow personalities. If I just help the bottom, the 1% is always going to be the 1%. The bottom is crowded, right? But if I help as many people on the bottom no longer be a part of that 99%, I'm going to just organically get what I want because I'm helping the bottom increase, which therefore helps me increase, right? And so I can stress out about like, am I the best mom? Am I the best mom? I could get in my head about it, or I could just show up for my daughters. And the more I help them succeed and be better humans themselves, it is going to organically make me a better mom. Does that make sense? I hope so. So last but not least, let's talk about that yellow-green combo. These people, I love yellow-green combos as well. These are the thinkers. These are the planners. These are the processors. You need these people in your corner. I need these people in my corner. As a red-blue, someone who's extremely wild, extremely driven, extremely loud and passionate, I need someone that's going to come around side me and say, whoa, 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 that's a great plan, Mayfield. That's a great goal. But like, let's realistically walk this through. These are the people that are going to ask questions. These are the ones that are going to be thinking. Now, these are also the ones that have like a booger face. Okay. You're talking to them and they're like this. And there's literally no emotion. And it's not like you can't. So if you're speaking to people that are yellow greens and you're like, oh my God, they're not even smiling. It's because they're processing. They're not looking at you where I'm a speaker where I need you to smile. I need to pull the emotion out of you. I need you to know that we're vibing and you're feeling me, right? But that's me. I can't expect someone to show up how I want them to show up, right? And so a yellow green, they're not even thinking about me. They're in their head. They're processing it out. They're planning it out. They're thinking about all the questions they need to ask or how is this logistically going to work out, right? But you need them in your corner. These people are going to help your mission and your goal get achieved faster. If you're like me, they're going to be your blind spot, but they're going to kind of be that, I don't want to say that devil's advocate because it's not coming from a negative place, but they're going to think from a different perspective if you're not a yellow-green combo. Trust me, you want those people. They have almost like a critical thinking about them, high functioning, at least if you're a high functioning yellow-green. They have this critical thinking about them that they're going to ask questions and they're going to help you see those blind spots. These are people that love instruction and tasks. If you're a yellow-green, there's not really a rebellious nature about you, unlike that yellow-blue. There could be a little rebellion there. But yellow-green, these are people that love instruction and they're driven by task. Now, if you're like me, so we have the red, green, blue, yellow. Last time we cut it here for the yellow-blue combo. This time we're cutting it up and down. So you have red and blue on this side who just let us run wild. Tell us the mission, let us run. Don't tell us the rules. Don't let us be a caged animal. Like let us flow freely in our creativity. Yellow-green, value instruction, value order, value task. They're task oriented where red, blue are people oriented. So if I have someone that's yellow, green, I'm probably not like in business. I'm probably not going to be like, hey, you got to go do a Facebook Live. If I have someone, my daughter who is definitely a yellow, I'm probably not going to have her like, clean up the living room while we have guests over. That she's going to be in her head thinking about it, right? Or my youngest, who is an entertainer, who is more of a blue and red, she'll have no problem going and cleaning it up, and she'll probably complain the whole time too. But with that being said, these are people that love tasks. What tasks can you give a yellow-green? Clear, precise tasks, give them all the instructions, and then let them go on their way. Empower them and trust them because they are very responsible. Yellow-green, probably one of the most responsible color combos that there are. They're not going to veer. They're going to follow the rules. They're going to follow the boundaries. They might ask you a lot of questions, but they're definitely going to lean in and do it exactly how you tell them to. Now, that has a little bit of a blind spot there because sometimes I need you to feel it. I need you to be fluid and agile. I need it to make sense. And sometimes you'll struggle with a yellow green because they're like, well, you didn't tell me that, so I didn't do it. And you're just kind of like, Wasn't it common sense to do that? Like, even though I forgot the instruction, well, you forgot the instruction. So that's something I've had to learn too. I've had to give grace and patience. Like, okay, they're not like me. They're not agile and fluid, and they're not just going to pick up on these clues. If I didn't give them the instructions, they don't know they have the capacity to do it, right? And so being very, very clear. These are people that are going to be a little bit more quiet. These are people that are going to sit back. They're going to observe. Now, a high functioning yellow-green is going to lean in and is going to put themselves in the game. But these are people that are going to sit back. They're going to contemplate, and they're going to be working out the problem in their head first, okay? They're not the loudest ones in the room. They're processing. They're very observant. They're watching what's going on. And because they're focusing on the plan and trying to put all the pieces together, kind of like Tetris. So that's a little bit. All in all, I want you to know that the way that I'm going to lead a yellow-green combo is I am going to make them just a little uncomfortable, especially in a space where they have to be around people. These are not people-oriented by nature. And so I'm going to have them share their story more. I'm going to help them tap into their emotion, not put an expectation on them to do it because they don't know how. I'm going to help them tap into their emotion and lead them to do that. And I'm going to have them speak from that place of either inspiration or pain, purpose or pain. That way they can kind of open up and help lead other people as well. So you guys, that's all thing yellow personality. I feel like I could talk about yellows for a really, really long time. As always, I could do. There's so many more things that I want to dive into, but stay tuned. I've got a lot of stuff coming about color personality. And if you're fascinated with it, like I said, go to my YouTube. If you're not already watching me by way of YouTube, make sure you scroll back. I have a lot of content that I've done for my company as well as just personal teaching. I am very, very, very passionate about the color personality. And so take advantage of everything. And like I said, feel free to share this on your social media. Who do you know is a yellow? Who do you know needs to learn a little bit more about themselves so they can understand what a powerhouse they are? Because yellows, you are uniquely special and you are so worthy of everything God has for you. So until next time, I'm rooting for you. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, my friend.